I greet you all in love in the precious name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. In our previous encounter, we began to analyze the details of the events that would take place when the second seal is broken. And the first main thing that is recorded is about a rider on the fiery red horse. When each of the seals are broken, there are respective horses, and certain important events will happen in this world. This is clearly detailed in the book of Revelation in chapter 6. Why am I explaining these things? It is because you must engrave all these things in your heart, and then you must read the book of Revelation and this chapter. The book of Revelation, chapter 6, is a very important chapter in the entire book of Revelation. The events which are recorded in this book is explained in detail in the chapters that follow. The trailer or the teaser for all the things that are recorded in the following chapters is chronologically arranged in Revelation chapter 6. Therefore, you must not ignore chapter 6. We must patiently read this chapter and we must know the details of the things that will take place. But the things that are recorded in this chapter will be limited. It will be of a small amount. This is just a trailer, and everything cannot be shown in a trailer. But there's a chronology. For example, a horse had ventured, and there was a rider, and the rider had a bow or pair of scales. The chapter contains only so many details. But the following chapters will explain what he did in his venture. Therefore, we are urged to clearly understand the things which are written up front. And when you read them, let me repeat this once again so that you can know. The chapter 6 in the book of Revelation is the most important one. And if you can understand this, you can read the book of Revelation in a much clearer way. And the truth is, you will understand these things in a much better way. Alright, in the previous encounter, we looked into the second horse. Each of the horses will be of a different color. The second horse is of fiery red color. As I had already mentioned, when you see a vision, in the things that are written in it, the details are very important. Therefore, when we see each of the visions, or when we read about the visions, we must carefully look into the details which are written. We must patiently and clearly understand the content and know its meaning. Because the meaning of the things which we see normally is totally different compared to the meaning of objects in a vision. Even a single color will have a specific meaning. Even a shape will have a specific meaning. Even a single word will have its own meaning. If there is count of numbers, it will have a meaning. For example, there were 10 people standing. 7 kingdoms have risen, and there are 10 horns. This has a meaning. Everything that is revealed has a meaning. The things which we see normally, some might contain meaning and some might not have any meaning at all. This is how we see the world. But the heavenly visions which are given by God, it will filtrate the meaning and they are shown as visions unto us. Therefore, the details which are mentioned is important. Red horse. The fiery red horse ventures, and there's a rider on it. He is given authority to take away the peace of the world. What kind of peace, you may ask? The peace of the entire world. Whether small or great, the peace in the entire world. His main intent to destroy the peace of the entire world. This is the work assigned to him. Therefore, what does this rider do? He will not only create hostility among nations, but even the peace of an individual person. He will target the peace and he will destroy it. This is what I had explained in detail in our previous encounter. Now we are going to look into furthermore details in this regards. An individual. A family is a group of individuals. A family will consist of few members, either 3 or 4 or even 7. A group of people is called a family, and a group of families is called a society, and a group of societies is called a nation, and a group of countries is called a continent, and finally a group of continents is called the world. Therefore, the names are assigned based on the collective membership of people in this world. A nation is not just land. A nation is not just sea. A nation means the people present in it. The nation is crying does not mean the nation is crying. It means the people of the nation are crying. Either in the scripture or in our conversation, whenever we speak about a nation, we consider the people who are present in it. Therefore, to bring forth hostility among nations, to transform the people of the nation vigorously, to transform the people into becoming violent, to turn them into murderers, to even take away the basic peace within them, by doing these things, fights and quarrels can be unleashed in a nation. Therefore, there will be battles against nations and within the nation. There will be riots happening all the time and there will be problems. Observe carefully in recent times, approximately from 2018 and 19, specifically from 2020, we can clearly witness that riots are happening in all places. There are riots happening within the nation America. I hope you remember the election that happened. This had never happened in the history of America. People entered into the parliament and destroyed it. They created a ruckus. These are familiar in India, but it's impossible in America. These things happened. Great protests were happening in the streets, and the peace was destroyed. Look at India. There are riots happening in all places. Farmers are protesting, and their protest had prolonged for many days. There are many protests, and not only in the nation of India. There are many protests and riots happening in the nations. There are confusions, and we begin to think whether the perseverance of the people has come to an end. And we can clearly witness that deadly things are happening before our eyes. All these things are nothing but raindrops before the fall of a huge rain. Do you know the drizzles which happen before the great rain? The small raindrops called as drizzling. They will be small drops, and then the great rain. All these things are the signs of the time to come. If the foreshadowing is so dangerous, you must understand how those days will be. How will those days be compared to now? Therefore, what does Satan do? By destroying the peace of every individual, by destroying the peace of a person, by provoking the violence to kill and the violence to hate fellow human beings, by transforming the people into wretched ones, by taking away the perseverance from the hearts of the people, he introduces riots. Therefore, even the rulers and the authorities in a nation, they will also lose their peace of mind. They will be confused, and if they become violent to kill, as I had already mentioned, the people who rule do not descend from the skies. A ruler or authority rises in the midst of the people. Therefore, if the hearts of the people are corrupted and changed into violence, then a person who rises from them will sit in authority. And even though he speaks many good things, his basic nature will be, his anger and hostility will reflect in his impatient behavior. They will not forgive anyone. They will seek after revenge. They will not give importance to peace. They will begin the fight. Therefore, Satan will not only capture the hearts of the leaders, but he will destroy the roots. Even in the lives of the individuals, there will be confusions. There will be no peace in their hearts. They will become people of violence. They will become more terrible. They will be violent to kill. He will change their hearts to do these things. This is the work of the red horse. What does the horse do? What are the weapons the horse uses in order to change the people? We have to analyze about these things even now. We can patiently understand these things. What are the things he will use in order to accomplish this? As I had already mentioned, basically, if a person is animal nature, he also has human nature. If a person is hurt, we will naturally have compassion towards them. We will be compassionate towards people who cry in pain. As I had already mentioned, even if a person has animal nature, he also has a human nature within him. If you look into the eyes of a person who's hurt, why do we want to empathize with them? Because it's natural. If a person is hurt, it will affect us without our knowledge. Look into a person who's hurt. You will begin to feel it. These are done naturally. But all these natures will be destroyed, and people will be changed into terrible ones. Their hearts will be hardened. For this, the human nature within a person must be destroyed. And as I had already mentioned, the work of the rider of the red horse, he has the authority to do two things. Number one, he will destroy the peace. At times, people who do not have peace will have a long face. But this is not how they are here. He must be without peace, and he must be a person violent to kill. He must be a torturer. This is what is mentioned. The peace will be destroyed to such an extent that they will be ready to kill each other. To just take away the peace is different. If you read the verse properly, to take peace from the earth and that people should kill one another. It does not speak only about rulers and authority. The peace of the world will be destroyed so that the people will be ready even to kill one another. Therefore, how can he make use of this? There is something within the heart of man. There is something which is natural within the heart of man. The human nature, this nature will be destroyed. How can the violence to kill be provoked? And what are the weapons he is going to use in order to implement these things in the coming days? We have to look into what he has done in this regards now. We can guess the coming rain just by looking at the raindrops that would fall. You have to look into the things which are available now. And the peak of the situation will happen when the red horse comes. This will happen fervently. And we looked into the first main thing at the end of our previous episode. We saw that he's going to use science and technology. He's going to use science in order to destroy the peace from the hearts of the people. You might ask, how is this possible? Let me firstly explain the weapons he uses. Then we shall look into the details. He can do it through science and technology. Secondly, he can do it through rays. Therefore, by using the character of a person can be altered and changed. When some of the wrong rays enter into the brain of a person, an individual, it will cause for certain changes to occur in the brain, and the people can be changed vigorously. It will even make them to become violent to kill. Certain rays. Thirdly, you must all know about the mafia groups. They will illegally sell many drugs. Therefore, by increasing the use of drugs, people can be controlled through intoxication. When I am talking about intoxication, the alcoholism in the country, this is not it. There are many other things apart from this. By making use of these drugs, a person can be changed violently. He can be made to soar in the skies, and he also can completely become inhuman. He will feel like he's living in a different world. Why is he shouting? Why is he roaming on the streets? Why am I fighting with everyone? He will not know anything. His heart will be changed. There are certain drugs which can do this. There are certain medicines. Observe the people who intake them. They will not know what they are doing. The drugs which I am talking about is not like the alcohols which people use. These are not items which are sold in a pub. This also does that. Once they drink, they'll beat their family. There are people who have killed because of the intake of alcohol. There are people who have doubted their wives and have killed them. And there are people who do not even know that they have committed a murder. But there are many more drugs, much more dangerous than alcohol, have begun to spread in this world. These items are rapidly spreading in and around the nation. Do not the people who are in authority know about these things? Yet these things are happening now. Therefore, by the use of such drugs, the heart of a person can be diluted, and that person can become violent. Fourthly, if you want to do it purposefully, it is possible through medicine. During the time of the Antichrist, if people have to be changed, it can be done medically. Doctors are usually very good. They are people who struggle very hard for the well-being and for the good health of other human beings. We have seen this. However, not all doctors are the same. Good and bad will always coexist. Not all ministers are good. Not all men are good, and not all rulers are good. And we must also understand that not everyone are bad. And by taking control of the medical field, what will the Antichrist do? By using science and medicine, a person can be changed violently. There are many medicines and drugs which can do this. If you observe the people, or let's consider the people in army, they are struggling and battling always. Such medicines can be used so that they can be victorious against the enemy. If the army is strengthened this way, the nature of the people cannot be changed again. The same violent nature which was shown in the war, he will reveal the nature in his own army camp. He will show it against the rulers. His mind will be changed. Therefore, there are many such possibilities to change the heart of a person. There are many such medicines which can cause permanent damage to the mind. If you observe carefully, certain people who run in Olympics would have taken drugs. People will run normally with their stamina. But in order to push them to their extent, supplements are used. They would be injected into the body. And after he is victorious, when they begin to test him, in order to see whether he has taken anything, in order to test and see whether he has taken any steroids, the people will be tested. And if they find out that the medicine is present in their blood, he will not receive the medal of his victory. Therefore, it is possible for a person to be pushed to the extreme through medicines. These are the things which are there now. And when the Antichrist comes directly, he will use many other things. Therefore, people can be changed by the use of science. People can be changed by the use of race. People can be changed by the use of drugs. Fourthly, people can be changed by the use of medical science. And if the Antichrist brings all these things under his control, by using all these things, he can change the entire society into a violent one. Therefore, this is possible through science. This is possible through race. If you look into science, they have introduced many new things, and the hearts of the people are behind those things. People have become addicted now, and they are being controlled through science. Certain men do not care what is happening outside. They do not care about the prices. They do not care about protests. They do not care if farmers die. They will be just doing this the entire day. That is on science and technology. They will be using video games introduced by science and technology, or they will be spending many hours in the internet. These were introduced through technology. Once upon a time, computer was introduced in order to reduce our workload. It will perform all the tasks that we assign to it. We can type the notes and take the printout. It can be sent to any place. But this has changed completely now. Now internet features are added. People can communicate with each other. Games are introduced now. So many new things are introduced now. And among the young generation, many people have become addicted to it. And I have observed even the elderly people, they are using the same technology after their retirement the entire day. This is how they are spending their time. They will only be watching those things. There is Facebook, there is Twitter, and in order for a person to communicate with another, there are many tools introduced now through science and technology. People can talk from anywhere. People can talk to anyone from any part of the world. Anything can be said. Since so many things are introduced, people are using technology for many hours in a day and they are becoming addicted to it. And not only this, if you observe the people who are addicted to technology, they will become careless in their lives. And at the same time, he will be violent and angry. You must have read in the newspapers or in news channels, a young girl. She is approximately 17 or 18 years old. She used to be on Facebook all the time. She used to use the internet. She would spend many hours in a day using the internet. They are from a middle class family in Tamil Nadu. Her mother scolded her and she hid the tablet or the phone which she had away from her. Even her phone was hid and the internet connection was disconnected. This is an incident which happened in a middle class family. The girl got very angry and when her mother was asleep, she killed her mother by slitting her throat. I watched this recently in a news channel. The girl was on her way to jail, but the girl was not guilty at all. Oh, I have killed my mother. How can I live now? What will be my future? She did not have any remorse. She was arguing with the cops. She said, how can I tolerate if she hinders me from these things? She was arguing, but the cops arrested her. She was only arguing with the cops, and she was unaware of her mistake. There are many such examples which I can give. There are many people who have committed suicide by losing their peace to online games. There are many dangerous games introduced now. And if you look at those games, people will commit suicide. There are many such games. Blue Whale is one of the games. You must know about all such information and you must know its consequences. We have read these things many times. We have seen them. These things will control our minds and hearts. It will cause us to travel in another realm. It will cause us to think that it is true. It will make us careless and make us to slumber so that we do not observe the things that are happening. Therefore, those people will become violent and hard-hearted. They are spending all of their time in these things. Now, they are going a bit more further, and the sadistic behavior which is in the heart of a human, in order to feed the sadistic nature, there are many new things which are introduced in videos and games and internet. A person might desire to kill, but he cannot do it. A person might think to kill another by slitting his throat. These are sadistic behavior and sadistic lusts. And in order to provoke all these things, many new games are introduced. To chase after someone and to shoot them with guns. To hunt someone, and if someone falls down and dies, the blood will be splashed just like in real life. Many such games are introduced through technology, and the entire new generation of young people are becoming enslaved to it. This is the plan which is in process now. In some of the biggest shopping malls, there will be a glass enclosed room. It is a room made of glass, and inside the room are young boys and young girls. A mask was given to them. They have used the mask in order to cover their eyes, and they have a wireless gun which they are holding in their hands. Those are guns given for their play, and they are able to see illusions inside the room. They feel like they are in that place. Now what are they doing inside? A group of mercenaries are following after them with their guns in order to shoot them. This is not like a picture, but they feel like it is real. It's in 3 dimensions. These youngsters are targeting in order to shoot what they see. But since they feel like they are in that place, they are shooting the mercenaries. And as they began to shoot, it is shown as a picture over there. And when the bullet strikes the mercenaries, they fall down and die. If you observe what's happening on the inside from the outside, it is ironic. The youngsters are falling by themselves and they are shooting somewhere. They are kneeling down and targeting something. They jump and they freeze. They will begin to laugh and they will fall on one side. If you observe what's happening, they are just playing their games using technology. These are nothing but weapons which provoke the violence of a human heart. There are many more games which cannot even be said. There are games which cannot be explained at all. The hearts of the people are provoked so that they are in a dreamland. When these things happen, the human becomes violent in nature. If you see a murder for the first time, you will be scared. But if you just keep on watching it, you will be used to it and you can feel nothing about it. Once I knew a doctor. I knew him very well many years ago. He would often visit the hospital. And he was a doctor in the post-mortem department. Once he has finished the post-mortem, he would come outside, wash his hands, and he will have his meal. Once I had questioned him. Just now you have slit open a human body and you have seen its brain. Now how can you wash your hands and eat immediately? I asked, how can you do this? He answered me saying, it's a corpse for you, but for me it's an object. I cannot feel anything now, but earlier it was the same for me. But now I'm used to these things. I just see it as eyes, brain and heart. I cannot see it as you do. Likewise, when you do a mistake for the first time, you might feel it's wrong. Our heart will constrain us. But as days pass by, it will become a habit. This is reality. In like manner, what will they do? Through such types of games, by hunting, killing, murdering your enemy, by shedding blood, in the games which are introduced now, it's not like a doll. It's like a real human. And if a person falls, it will be real. And the scatter of blood will be like real. Even toddlers look at these things. and children are eager to see this. I know a family and I was shopping along with them, and there was a small boy over there. He was around 4 years old. When he was taken to a toy shop to buy something, he took the gun which was over there. He asked the gun to be bought. The hearts of the people in the society in the future is slowly being transformed into violence and corruption. Even without anyone teaching him, children who are 4 years old are using cell phones. They are using internet to play games. They are learning it by themselves. And it is surprising to know who teaches them and how they know this. Therefore, all these things are made possible through science and technology. And even now, they are professing how the future of science and technology will be. Now, some of the things which we can see, some of the things which we see in the internet, it will touch only certain senses in our body. One, we see it through our eyes, and through ears we can hear it. But now, how are they further developing it? There are some more senses in a human body. The video games are going to be linked to it. They are going to be linked to the internet. And when you do this, even while you behold certain things, you can feel and sense them in your 5 senses. While you watch a movie in the theater, you will not sense it through your 5 senses. Example, you cannot smell anything. You cannot feel the climate in the movie. If the person touches, you cannot feel anything. This is how it is now. But they even tried to develop such things. There were theaters with 7 dimensions. And if someone runs, our chairs will also begin to shake. The same thing is going to be modified now. These things are going to be connected to our 5 senses scientifically. What will happen if this is done? The scenes which you see in a movie, you can completely feel them in your 5 senses. If you see a scene where there is lots of snow falling, you can feel the climate of that place. You can feel the shaking of the leaves. You can feel the people in the movie. You can even smell the movie. If you touch, you can feel someone. And if they touch, you can feel being touched. All these things are new in technology. It's happening. And when the enemy comes, he will offer all these things and he will change the senses and feelings of the people violently. And they cannot escape. They will be filled with violence and with murder. They will only watch shootings and murders. And anyone who encounters their life, they will become violent and ferocious. They will not have a second thought not to kill them. He will not have compassion and he will behave like a very ferocious animal. Now, there are many youths who are bound by these addictions. Even a 10-year-old has murdered his own father. Children who have murdered their mothers. And children who have committed suicide. There are children who have fallen from the top of the building and they have killed themselves because of games. Once upon a time, games were just games, but now games are life. Therefore, in order to destroy the peace from the heart of man, and in order to change the heart of a person, in order to make him violent, there are many possibilities in technology. Technology have enslaved the people now. Nothing is possible without technology. Therefore, people are bound in such a way, thereby destroying the peace which is in the heart of a person. There are many craftiness of Satan to do this. Satan has many plans to implement. He has many weapons for it. He has many facilities. These things are going to happen. That is the reason I say, in any situation, on account of civilization, do not learn any unwanted things. Because of civilization, don't change your phones. Don't think that your friends will disrespect you because of a phone. Don't think your friends will disrespect you because you do not know the technology. Do not think these things and be entrapped in these illusions. Be careful. When I was studying in my college, this is around the year 1975 through 77. During those days, cricket was the sport which enslaved all the youngsters who were in my age. There was just radio and no television. And using the transistor, we will listen to cricket scores even in our classrooms. And even in this situation, I was not addicted to cricket. And even until now, I do not know how the format is, how the game is played, and what are its rules. they will be listening to the score. And in today's age, people are beginning to follow after these things on account of status and respect. They are being enslaved by it. This is a craftiness of Satan. You have to protect your children. The future generation is one of the aims of Satan. He wants to destroy them, and he wants to destroy their peace. There are even many people who play with their smartphones while the church service is going on. There are many people who play video games in the church service. It will destroy the lives of the current generation, and it will help Satan to fulfill his plan. And there will be a peaceless situation in the entire world. The entire world will be restless and peaceless. This is what Satan wants. This is the work of the red horse. Now, secondly, race. How are people being controlled by the use of race? We shall look into these things in our next episode. Until then, may the Lord bless you and keep you. Amen.